Hey guys, my name's Ben Howard and today we're out here at Tyger River to get ready for the Tyger Tussle 5 coming up tomorrow. Right now we're on hole 10. This is a par 4, 600 feet on the tee shot. You really just want to try and hit this gap with something that's either slightly overstable or really overstable. Once you get through the gap, the next shot really depends on where you land, because if you go super far left, you'll have to throw like a low ceiling shot through a few trees. Or if you throw it straight enough, you can actually have a fairly open either hyzer or like just straight shot to the basket. So the main goal is just really to hit this gap and have something that won't go too far left. I'll get through it. Get through the tree. Ooh, well, okay. I almost got really lucky there, but where that landed, I should be able to get up and down for an easy par. As long as I'm past that tree. If I'm under the tree, it might be a little tricky. Okay, so I did forget to mention that this tree line off to the right is out of bounds. So really important. That's why it's really important to have that left finish at the end. But you can see what I'm talking about, because if you end up closer to this tree line, you have a much more open hyzer route to the basket. Whereas if you go over here to the left, you pretty much have to go either under or over these trees off to the left. So really just got to kind of pick your poison on this one. But for this shot, I'm not close enough to really get to the basket. So I'm just going to try and take hyzer out over the OB, have it fade in just past these trees and give myself like 100, 150 foot approach shot into the green. Yeah, that'll be good. Hurry back, hurry back. Oh, wow, that actually got a lot more distance out of it, so I actually will have like a 50-foot putt at it. Okay, cool. I guess I'm starting to finally beat in this cloud breaker. I wouldn't have thought I could have got that much distance out of it. But I guess I technically have a putt, but this tree makes it to where I don't have any direct line at the basket, but I just have to go around it, I guess. Oh, come on, spike in. Ooh, almost. Yeah. I also did forget to mention that the tee pad we're playing from on this hole is the long tee pad. So really not planning on getting the birdie on this hole. It's definitely gettable with a good drive, but the drive I had today, getting a par is going to be best case scenario most of the time. All right, guys, so we're on hole 11. This one we're playing long tee pad to the red basket, which is the long basket, which is 580 feet. Just pretty much just dead straight ahead. Should be able to see it on camera. But biggest thing you got to pay attention to, tree line off to the right marks the out of bounds, and the tall grass off to the left that goes up all the way up to the basket, wraps around it, is OB. So really got to make sure I throw this shot in the fairway on my drive, and then just see what kind of approach shot I'll have. It's very tricky because you can kind of see it. The basket or the fairway slopes down into a bowl, and then it goes back up to the basket. So the approach shot can be a little bit trickier than you're expecting, even though you'll probably, if you throw a good drive, you'll be less than 300 feet to the basket. So just something I have to keep in mind. Biggest thing though on this drive is just getting this in the middle of the fairway. That looks good. Just needs to stick. Don't skip. That should be fine. I should be right in the middle of that bowl and have like about 250 feet to the basket. We'll see. Okay, so rangefinder puts us at 300 feet, which I'm thinking it might be taking into consideration we're throwing uphill. I think the Atlas rangefinders do that. So probably not actually 300 feet, but it's going to play like 300 feet. So just going to try and take something overstable, throw it out to the right, and let it fade in. Stay high. Stay high. Oh, that's probably out of bounds. You can see from here, barely out of bounds, just really needed a little bit more height, maybe like a foot or two, and I would have made it in. It was also a little short, so I probably needed to disc up more than I was thinking. Let's go ahead and get up and down. Get in the hole. Ooh, there we go. Yo. Yeah, but going out of bounds on this one and taking the bogeys, pretty good, honestly, because that's pretty much the best score you can take a lot of times if you go out of bounds on the tee or the second shot. So just got to clean that up a little bit and just make better choices. All right, so for hole 12, this is a par 3, 230 feet. You see it just straight ahead. Biggest thing I pay attention to is the OB is marked by the spray paint, but basically tall grass is out of bounds on either side. Luckily, it kind of balloons out as you get closer to the basket, but really just trying to throw something at this tree because it's about 30 feet short of the basket. So if I miss it on either side, it should settle right at the basket. Come back. Come back. There we go. Okay. It might be a little long, but that should be at least a putt. So threw that actually pretty perfect. Just needed a little bit more left movement and I would have parked it, but let's go and put it in. Ooh, tried to spit back out on me. All right, guys, so we're on hole 13. This is a par 3, 245 feet, just dead straight ahead on the side of this hill. Biggest thing you got to pay attention to is, once again, all tall grass is out of bounds around the basket. And you got to be real careful about your landing. Not only do you have to worry about that on your actual tee shot, but you also got to be careful while putting, because if you hit and roll, you could easily roll out of bounds at the bottom of the hill. So just try not to do that. Get down. Get down. Okay. I don't know if that's out of bounds or not, but not a bad place to go out of bounds because I'll have like a short putt for par at least, but hopefully I'm not. I thought I was pin high, but I'm actually a little short, which is actually pretty lucky because it bows out right here. So in bounds, but got a longer putt than I want for this. So the tournament might need to step up to a slower fairway driver or something like that, but let's go and make a putt. Come on. Oh, don't do that. No, stop. Just had to open my mouth and say something about rolling away and going out of bounds. Let's go ahead and make the putt. Come on. I slipped out. Oh well. All right, guys, so we're on hole 14. This is a par 3, 360 feet. You see it just straight ahead of us. Really just got two plays you can go with. You can go mid-range straight up the gut at it, or you can throw a driver out to the right, let it fade in over the trees. I'm going to do both of them and just see which one works. I believe it looks like there's OB off to the right, but I don't see a pan line off to the left. So I'm going to go with the mid-range up the gut as my actual play, and then try the driver out to the right and just see which one works better. Go with the Trash Panda Dune. Straightest mid-range I've ever thrown. Okay, a little off to the right, but that's really good. That's really, really good. Oh, yeah, I'm not doing that. Oh, well, wind lifted a little bit. Oh. Nope. it always feels nice to get a putt on this hole. It's really hard to park this one because these trees right here kind of guard a lot of, like, especially if you try and go wide hyzer like I did for my second shot, just kind of gets blocked off and you end up over here with like a 30 footer. So the end up here is really nice. That's the nice part about the straight up the gut plays. You actually can get up there for a putt, but obviously you're throwing downhill. You got to throw hard because it's really far. So just kind of more of a little bit, kind of more of a touchy play, but worked out for us. So let's go ahead and make the birdie. I slipped out. That's it. That's it. Stop it. Good grief. I just want to roll today. Yes, that's a good putt. I needed that. Whew. All right, guys, so we're on hole 15. This is a par 5, 600 feet. On the tee shot, really just trying to get through this gap and have something that'll finish to the left. Because you got these 3 trees that are kind of blocking the straight shot through this gap. So really just want to throw something at them and have it fade off to the left. There's a good amount of room off to the left. But from there, you're trying to go another probably 300 feet with the basket being tucked off to the right. Biggest thing to pay attention to in your second shot is there's some OB off to the left with some tall grass. So really just got to pay attention to that. This one, this could be eagleable with 2 amazing shots, but not something I'm going for because this is also a hole you take a really big number on if you're not careful. It's probably the hardest hole in the course, so wish me luck. Flip, 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 flip. Oh, that's so close. That's exactly what I wanted, that shot. Because that Jade's flippy enough to where it'll flip up to flat on that line, but it'll start to move left for me. So it'll flip up the flat after starting to move left, and it'll push down that hallway for me. Oh, it's so close to what I wanted. Whew. Okay, so luckily I didn't get too bad of a kick. All I really got to do on this shot, I don't know if you can really see it on camera, but it's a gravel road about halfway down the fairway. If I can get past that and not be blocked off by a tree in a weird way, I should be able to get up and down. So birdie's still in play. It's just going to take 2 really good shots from here. Come on. Come on, fade. Oh, that works. It's not past the gravel road, but that's within range to get up and down. Ooh, that's really good. That's really, really good. Oh, well. Never mind. It's a little short. But to actually hit that gap on that line is really good. So I'll have at least a putted birdie. So let's go make it. Dadgummit. I keep trying to do an Anheuser putt and it keeps coming out of my hand early. Gotta get that commitment in that Anheuser putt or else it's not gonna work. Dang. Yeah, like I was saying on the tee pad, this is probably the hardest hole, at least in this layout we're playing for the tournament. So to throw a tee shot like I did and still almost get the birdie on this hole is really encouraging, because if I throw that drive like I mean to, I might have a chance of getting an eagle on this hole, which would be really, really sick. All right, guys, so we're on hole 16. This is a par 3, 390 feet. You can just see the plane to the yellow basket from the long tee pad. Say it with me, all tall grass is out of bounds. So I've got a nice landing area just past this tree in the middle of the fairway. So best play really is to just take a forehand, throw it out wide and land in that open area, and then throw your upshot to the basket, because the basket's on the side of a hill and not completely surrounded by OB, but majority of it's surrounded by OB. So really not worth going for it unless this actually matters in the tournament, which not really plan on practicing that. So just going to take a forehand, throw it out in the middle of the fairway, and get out of here with a par. Oh, that came out early. Dang it. it. Oh, that was terrible. That probably wasn't a good disc choice anyway, but I'm in bounds. That's all that matters. All right, let's see. If I throw this in, that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. So be from my bogey. Oh no! Don't stop. Why does everything got to roll? Good grief! That was. I think that would have gone in, but I got some tailwind, and you can kind of see it just pushed it down. But still a good approach shot. Yeah, not too mad at that result. If I throw out of bounds like that, that's probably what's going to happen. So just gotta be confident in my tee shot on this one and get it in bounds. All right, guys, so we're on hole 17. This is a par 4, 430 feet, playing from the short tee pad. You can see the basket just straight ahead of us on top of these rocks. Biggest thing you gotta pay attention to is this is a hole has 2 islands to it. The first island's for layups, where you can give yourself an easy look for a birdie, or if you're feeling aggressive, you can go for the island. I would say it's shaped kind of like a guitar pick, or like it's narrow at the bottom that's close to us, and then it kind of widens out once you get close to the basket, and it comes in pretty tight behind the basket, probably a little bit less than 20 feet behind the basket's OB. So really just got to decide whether you want to lay up or go for it. Really not a reason not to go for it, because if you go out of bounds, or if you cross inbounds and then go out of bounds, you can take it from the drop zone, which you can see short ahead of us. And it's like a 200-foot approach shot, so you should be able to get up and down every time for your par. So that's what I'm gonna try. Come on, baby. Fade out of that. Fade, fade. Oh, man. I had the distance I needed out of that shot, but it held the turn a lot longer than I would have expected out of it. Okay, so I think I said the OB rule is a little bit wrong. If I cross inbounds, I can take it the last place I crossed inbounds. But this tee pad is always an option I can take, whether I cross inbounds or not. And technically, I probably would be closer to take it, because I think I'd be like right up in there. But I'm just going to take it from the drop zone, because it's not a lot of difference. And to be able to just practice this shot is going to be very important for the tournament. Because like I said, this isn't an easy shot, but it's right in my range where I should be able to do it consistently. Let's see. Just got to be careful about going long. Oh yeah, perfect. There we go. There we go. All right, guys, so slight technical difficulties on my part. Sorry about this, but my phone overheated in the middle of me throwing my tee shot, so I lost that footage, and I lost the whole breakdown on that too. So just going to run through the whole breakdown real quick, and then we'll run up there to my tee shot. I would throw it again, but I threw a really good one, and I'm running low on time for today, so I'm just going to have to kind of make this work. But this hole 18, I think we're playing as a par 5 today. It's about 560 feet up this way, tucked off to the right on top of this hill. Biggest thing to pay attention to is we've got OB marked all the way on the left side by yellow paint and off to the right by the road. Best thing you can do on this tee shot is get something past these 2 trees in the middle of the fairway. It's kind of hard because the basket's slightly uphill, and as you can probably tell, it's sloped from left to right. So if you throw a right-hand backhand, it's very easy to skip down the hill, and it's very possible you can skip down OB left. So just really want to kind of hug this right side without going too far right, obviously. And I believe there's a Mando on one of these 2 trees off to the right, but I don't see it marked, so I don't know. We'll just have to find out tomorrow in the tournament. But yeah, I threw my tee shot pretty much between these 2 trees, which is a really good spot. Probably won't have a look to get up and down for the eagle, but should have a really good chance of getting a birdie. Yeah, guys, you can see this is the only thing that can make this drive better is if I was like 5 feet to the left, because it would open up that shot to get up to the basket. You can't really see it from here, but probably not even maybe 330 to the basket, maybe a little bit less. mainly just because it's uphill. But typically you could go over the road, which would be a much safer play because then you kind of put it to the bottom of the hill. But like I said, I don't know if we're playing. I think it was actually this pole that played as a Mando. So just in case, I'm not going to play it that way. So just going to try to take a forehand, throw it out to the left, and just have it fade up. Give me a nice clean shot up to the basket for bird. That's perfectly fine. That'll probably be like 80 to 80 feet to the basket from there. Should be perfectly fine. Okay, so as I was walking up here, I could see they marked the tree just past the pole I was talking about. It's marked as a Mando, so no road skips for this tournament, which is really good because it's kind of dangerous to have people thrown over the road like that. But definitely a good thing to know for the tournament. I'm not tempted to try it, but right now, I'm trying to throw this in for an eagle. Let's go and do it. Too wide. That might be OB long. I'll have to see. I ran it at least. Stay high. Yes. Here we go. All right, guys, that finishes up the round out here at Tyger River. I'm not crazy happy with how I played today. Just obviously made some silly mistakes, and I didn't realize they were actually adding in that much OB to the back nine, which is really fun because obviously it makes this course way harder and makes some of the holes you kind of take for granted into holes that like a hole, what is that, hole 13, or like typically that's just a hole you get a birdie or a par on, but I ended up taking double bogey on it. So should be a really fun tournament. Forehand feels really good. Putting feels really good. Biggest thing is I just don't really feel confident in my backhand a lot of times, which sucks as a backhand dominant player. So I just want to run through that same exercise I did in the last practice round video I did. So I'm just going to kind of run through each hole, say which disc I'm going to throw on T-pad, and talk about what I might do in case of other situations. So, for example, hole one, I am 100% throwing the Horizon Cloud Breaker on a forehand. I don't see any reason why I wouldn't. So, guaranteed that. Hole two, throwing the Mutant on the backhand. Don't see any reason I would throw anything else. Hole three, that one I'm kind of torn between throwing the Neo Origin or the Dune, honestly. But I'm probably going to go with the Origin because I feel like it's a little bit faster and it's a little more understable, so it's going to be easier for me to get that extra distance out of it. So, Neo Origin on that one. Hole four, I'm going to be throwing the Jade off the tee. Hole five, let me throw in the Big Z Fierce. Hole six, that one's interesting because there's two really different plays I could do. If I'm going aggressive, I'm going to go with the ESP Zeus. Not really any reason I wouldn't go for it, because it's going to get, if I hit that gap, it's going to give me that turn I need out of it. And even if I don't get the finish I need to push and park the hole for eagle, I can still get up there and get a really easy birdie. So probably going to be throwing that. If not that, I'll probably throw the Big Germ Thunderbird on a forehand and just try and get up through that gap. Probably just going to go with the Zeus either way, but we'll see how it goes on that one. The next hole, probably going to throw the Fierce again on hole 7. I might throw the Luna just because it's a little bit faster and might hold its height a little bit better. Just kind of have to see how I feel on that one. I'll say I'll go with the Luna on that one, just so that way I have a reason to put in the bag, basically. But just kind of so I don't make the same mistake I did during this round. Hole 8, probably just throw the Royal Rage 2 again. Worked out really well. Like I was talking about in that hole, I don't want to throw something that I can throw long on that one. So I don't believe I can throw this one long, and that'll be really good for that hole. Hole 9, probably throw the PX3 again. Just perfect amount of glide and stability for that shot. just kind of throw it flat, let it do its own thing on that one. Just try not to throw it long next time. Hole 10, I'm stuck between, I might take, obviously I might throw the trespass on a different hole, but I might take the trespass out and throw the throw my destroyer, my yellow destroyer, wherever that is, right here. Yeah, this destroyer, because it kind of felt like this one turned a little bit on me, and I feel like I can get a little bit more of a consistent, it's going to be more consistent if there's any kind of wind out there. So that, or maybe the cloud breaker, we'll see. Probably I'll stick with that for now. And then, I mean, that one's par 4, so it just kind of depends on what kind of tee shot I have after that. But hole 11, either the cloud breaker, destroyer, it's really just gonna depend on the wind on that hole, especially because I might end up even needing to throw a forehand on that hole if there's a right to left wind. So just gonna kind of have to play that one by ear. Yeah, I'll probably throw the Halo Boss in the bag for that hole specifically, just because it's more consistently overstable for me than the cloud breaker, and it'll be really good for no matter what wind. So probably go with that on 11. 12, go with the PX3 again. Hole 13, I might step up to the I can't think of disc names today. The Royal Rage 2, probably step up to that instead of the or I could throw the Dune, just something that's a little bit straighter. Probably just going to depend on the wind. Just like if I have a headwind, I'll probably throw that Royal Rage 2, and if got any other wind, I'll probably just stick with the Dune or something. Maybe, yeah, probably the Dune. 14, Dune again. That's pretty much a perfect shot for that, and I really don't need any. There's no reason for me to bring that OB right into play like I did with the wide hyzer, so probably just the Dune. Hole 15, do the same thing I did with the Jade, because I was so close to hitting that line. If I hit that line, I might be able to get up there for a birdie or a eagle, honestly. But let's see, yeah, and then that one just kind of depends on where I end up off the tee. Let's see, 16, I'll probably take the Xenon out of my bag for this one, because I'm not trusting it lately, and I'm throwing the cloud breaker so much better than I am that one. So I'm gonna switch that one out and throw the cloud breaker on that hole. Hole 17, just gonna kind of depend on the wind again. Like I said, probably gonna play that for birdie unless we have like a tailwind or no wind at all, and then I can just go for it with Zeus. But if I'm gonna lay it up, I'm probably gonna play it up with the Mutant or some other slow overstable mid-range, depending on what we got. But hole 18, I'm gonna throw the flow off the tee. This is perfect for that shot, because if y'all never tried a flow, these are really nice discs. It's got like some early understability but late overstability, which is really nice, especially on that hole, because like I said, you have to throw a little uphill, a little nose up, so you need that little bit of extra understability to make it hold straight, but you need that little bit of overstability so you can kind of get that skip down the hill. And then it really just depends on where I end up on that one. I might throw a backhand turnover or a forehand like I did today. Just really depends. But yeah, that's pretty much everything. So yeah, good luck to everybody in the tournament tomorrow. Look forward to seeing everybody. Thank y'all so much for watching. Have a good one. Bye.